Why did humans invent law? The answer has to do with the problem of social order. This is a problem that all human societies have to solve, because only if there is a reasonable degree of social order can people cooperate and get along. And social order is achieved with rules. They tell us who can do what, when, and how. The rules that support social order are a platform. They provide a structure on which choices and interactions are built. In fact, our platforms of rules are probably the most important platforms that we have, even more important than platforms like transportation, communication, money, and the internet. Because without rules, those other platforms couldn't be built. The platform of rules on which non-human animals build their choices is in their DNA. With humans, rules are not only in our DNA, but also in our culture. And culture is a lot more adaptable than DNA. As a result, humans quickly outcompeted other animals. Culture provides the platform for a far more complex economic life, one that reaps the benefits of the division of labor, specialization, and trade. Eventually, the complexity of life that culture afforded tested its own limits. Cultural rules are slow to change, and even when they do, change is organic and it's hard to channel. And that's why humans took the next step and invented law. It's a deliberate means of choosing and changing the rules. That's what is special about law as a solution to the problem of social order. It's the capacity to go to sleep one day with one set of rules and wake up the next with another. And by inventing a way of changing the rules to make them progressively more fair and responsive to changing circumstances, humans have found a way to continue growing the economic pie without wasting too much of it on fights about who gets how much. We don't know exactly when humans invented law, but by the time we invented writing, about 4,000 years ago, law was already there. We could see it on the 7-foot stone pillars that displayed Hammurabi's code and in the contracts that traders scratched into clay tablets. And over the thousands of years that followed, all kinds of groups built, destroyed, and rebuilt platforms of legal rules. Some societies looked to religious groups for their rules, and others looked to local despots or family dynasties. Still others formed communes, co-ops, and merchant guilds. And on those legal platforms, human societies over the past millennia grew progressively more complex, with successful economies elaborating the division of labor further and further still. The legal infrastructure of Mesopotamia, for example, supported writing, mathematics, trade, and taxation. And legal developments in the Middle Ages underwrote the commercial revolution. The laws of empire supported global colonial expansion and settlement. The legal infrastructure of the nation-state proved a platform for the Industrial Revolution. And the democratic nation-state supported the mass manufacturing economy. None of these societies were perfect, of course, and many were very unequal and still violent. But one way or another, each legal platform was enough to get us to the next stage in our evolution as a cooperative species. I'm Jillian Hatfield, a professor of law and economics at the University of Southern California. And in my new book, Rules for a Flat World, I look at how our systems for producing law are hitting their limits. Our rules are too complex, they're too costly, and they're too disconnected from the reality of our complex global economy to do their job well. Anger and frustration with how technology and globalization are being managed by our rules is growing. And that's why it's time, yet again, to think about how to reinvent our platform of rules as we leap into the next stages of human evolution.